Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Lewis's vlog, and we started the week off with a max effort bench press there. He ended up getting 95 kilograms, which is a small PR for him, so we'll take it. And that's another topic. A few people have asked here or there, why are you having someone who is kind of a late novice, in some cases early intermediate. It really depends on what lift we look at. Why are you having him do conjugate? And I'm like, well, because the system works. I am perfectly fine with using this system with basic exercises and lower max effort selection for people who are not advanced lifters. And it works decently well. It actually works quite well. And it's particularly good on the recovery end. And it lets them get in and focus on actually doing some heavy lifts while still getting bigger. And again, I see no issues with it. If we're trying to do the really complex versions, and let's say they're in a full conjugate gym, yeah, some of that's a bit much. They don't need to rotate bands and chains in 3-week waves. Okay, they don't need 12 different max effort presses. Okay, they don't have to have all that stuff. And actually, I would argue for them, just like someone like Dave Tate would say, it's probably counterproductive at that point. It's just not necessary. They need a heavier focus on the basics, which, in his case means, we could do a couple deadlift variations, a couple squat variations, 4 or 5 press variations. In fact, I go so far as to say that if equipment is all there to do it all, the problem we run into is things like floor press for him, pin benches, all that's difficult with his setup. But I would say a lot of times for a non-advanced lifter, I'm perfectly fine with 4 presses. What would they be? Bench press, closed grip bench, floor press, incline bench. I think that works great. I have actually seen that suggested before off Westside's website. I've seen that actually suggested, even for advanced raw lifters. I think those 4 are pretty good. I'd even venture to say that if I go back into true conjugate, those would probably be my go-tos, like for me personally, because they display the different weak links that we're looking for. Okay, between those 4, we really have the variation we need to assess the different weak links in bench press and bench strength. Really there. His deadlift went good. We did 195 kilograms there this week. Again, he's not going to try to PR much because he's not bulking at the moment. We're doing a little bit of recomping. We're going to still gain muscle and strength in there, but it's going to be a lot slower. But a 195 deadlift for where he is, pretty happy with that. For my Americans, that's around 430 pounds, right? He's doing good on deadlifts. But again, he's a taller guy, longer arms. Right? Long arms, long legs. We expect him to be good at deadlift. That's where he's going to shine. Right? That's where he's going to shine. As far as the supplemental work goes on the lower days, I have him still doing the same basic stuff. We're doing good mornings. We're doing split squats. Right now he's doing them with dumbbells. Again, waiting on him to be able to get a rack set up. Glute bridges, hanging leg raises. Now, I want to note those glute bridges, and he's noted the same thing. He needs to reduce them. He's really struggling with the tightness, getting the range of motion we would like. It's a case where it's like, look, that might be a point where we need to reduce the weight a little bit, okay? If we can't lock it, right? If we can't lock it out. Not that that's the end of the world. But in that case, that's what we need to do. Plus, again, he is struggling a bit with those shoes sliding. And I find that to be very true on glute bridges, unless you're on hard rubber mats with good soled shoes, something like Chucks on grippy rubber mats, your feet are going to slip on glute bridges. They just are. You're going to have to reset them a lot. Okay, that's pretty normal. And reset them if you have to. Think of it like a deadlift. That's what I told him before. Think of it like a deadlift. If you need to reset reps, then reset the reps. So in a way, it is a version of the deadlift, isn't it? Dead off the floor, lower body exercise, posterior chain dominant. I'm not saying it's exactly a deadlift, but it is a hard stop on the floor. Well, it means we may need to reset sometimes, and that's okay. Dynamic effort, upper day, what do we got going on here? Speed benching, chins, JM presses, lateral raises. His go-tos, some barbell rows. Again, his overall volume is still relatively high. Our exercise selection is still somewhat high. It's all basics. But again, he's novice enough that we can do a fair amount of volume there. We can do a lot of volume. And again, we need some of those extra angles. Right? I think particularly some of the lankier guys, we really need that extra back work. So hitting the back from two different angles, pretty wise idea. So I guess posterior chain, we kind of work it from two angles. We have the glute bridges and we have the good mornings. So the same thing with the back. We have rows and chin ups. So vertical pull, horizontal pull. Again, working the different angles. Dynamic effort, lower day. I believe this was a sumo wave for him. Sumo week. Speed box squats, glute bridges, hanging leg raises, split squats. Again, his training, very, very, very basic. Very basic version of conjugate, and that's okay. It's where it needs to be. It's where it needs to be. And here's the deadlift again. We can watch this through while I get this vlog long enough to justify a vlog. Again, almost a little hitching there, but at least he's holding it strong at the lockout. Of course, he's a little disappointed. He's like, it just felt so heavy still. And it's like, well, give yourself some credit. How long have you been training and you're pulling 195 kilograms? All right, you're good. It's going to inch forward from here. From this point forward, the gains are going to come slow, but they're going to be there. It's going to be consistent. They're going to be slow. We take the small PRs. Right? Take the small PRs. Take them as they come. Don't get greedy for PRs, guys. One of the biggest mistakes I see guys make. Double PRs and things like that. Oh, I got a small PR, so I'm going to go up again. And then they miss it. Or they get hurt. No need for that. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.